in general what the communication is and what is the formal way to do it in any interview. Okay, that is the first thing that we covered, mainly communication in the sense of greetings, introduction, the content, and closing, how it should be. After that, we went into grooming. So grooming is basically how you present yourself physically in front of anyone, be it your interviewer or be it your professional life. So that we discussed, and excuse me, that we discussed, and then we went on to jump into technical skills. Yesterday we covered resume building. Okay, I have elaborated a lot of things regarding what are the key requirements in a resume. Okay, I had focused that discussion purely on student resumes, but I also hold the expertise in building experienced resumes. So I discussed that, and today we were going to start about group discussions, and we are going to move on to debate and then interviews, and after that we are going to jump into actual um, tricks or hacks, how you can build the confidence to actually present yourself in front of anyone and be confident enough to um, you know actually make sure that you are easily. Okay, so that is kind of the discussion that we were having yesterday. And as you are saying, you want to switch your career, and uh, okay, so you want to switch your career. So there are a few key things that you need to focus on to. First would be building your resume, because now that you are not into campus, you need to reach out to people using your resume, and that is your first impression to everyone. And that is your first impression to everyone. So your resume is your face in front of a recruiter who has never met you. Okay, so that's the idea. Your resume is going to be something which is um, going to what we can say, make sure that you are presentable enough in front of. Okay, so there are a few tricks to actually make sure your resume stands out. The few things are, you need to research your job profile first. So when you are identifying a particular job profile, first you need to choose where you want to switch your career. That is one. Second step would be identifying what is that job role particularly, and what are the key responsibilities that you will have to take care of. So if you know that much, on that basis you can start building your resume. While building your resume, step one is never copy anyone else's resume, build your own resume. Okay, why? Because nobody else is going to know you better than anybody else. Okay, so how do you start building a resume? The resume is basically built. I'll show you the sample resume. For example, this resume that you're seeing here is some kind of resume I would prefer to see. Okay, why? Because it shows your face, it shows your name clearly, it shows what you are here for. It has about me, or you can also call it profile summary, your job summary. What is your experience as of now? Why are you looking for a job role which is something different from you are doing right now? Okay, and stuff like that. So your profile should come here. Then there should be skills. Okay, what kind of softwares do you know if you are interested in going to somewhere like that where softwares are important, or if you are going trying to get into manufacturing, then what kind of manufacturing experience do you have? If you are trying to get into engineering, then what kind of engineering experience do you have? What are the relevant skills that you have? And if possible, I would always recommend that writing in the sense wherein you show that your career, your skills as a proficiency. Okay. I'll stop sharing just for a second. I'll show you a resume. Uh, I'll show you a sample resume, how a resume should look. Okay. Just let me open that. So this is a sample resume for an experienced individual. Okay. When I'm saying that you can write your skills into a tabulated form, this is something what I mean. Okay. So someone, if you know process technology and how proficient you are, if you are really proficient, write proficient. If you are intermediate, if you don't know much about it, write intermediate. If you don't know anything about it, but you have general idea, write elementary about it. Okay. What kind of softwares do you know that you can write? What kind of experience in different companies that you can write about that also. Okay, so this is the general format you can follow while building your resume. Okay, we have something in chat. I'm also not present yesterday. Please suggest someone bit of previous classes. No problem, Govind. We'll do that. Also, it's okay if you have missed yesterday's classes. Even today's classes will be a good insight on most things that you will be facing in any interview format. Okay, so until now, what we have discussed is mainly uh, okay. Until now, what we have mainly discussed is interpersonal skills and communication skills. Today, we are going to jump into technical skills, like how actually your technicals speak and not your interpersonal skills. They're everywhere, but mainly we are going to talk about uh, interpersonal skills, sorry, technical skills. So today we'll start with group discussion, and I'll take every question of yours at the end of this session for sure. Okay, so don't worry about that. Be it related to this session or otherwise, we'll cover all of it. Okay, so let's start for today's session. We'll start with group discussions. So group discussions can be broken apart into three pieces. Okay, first would be start, second would be mid, and third would be end. So when you start a group discussion, there are few key things that your observer is going to look into. Okay, first thing is they are going to like, I'll just explain the format of group discussion. When we conduct group discussions, what we look for, so we give a very generalized topic. Okay, generalized topic in the sense that everyone should know about it, because most of the cases group discussions happen for students, and we cannot go very technical while providing such group discussion topics to them. So these topics are usually social and very broad, like everybody knows about it kind of stuff. So when we are giving so broad of a topics, we are looking for a few things. What we observe when we are sitting as judge into a group discussion is first initiative. Okay, who takes the initiative and how confident they are in taking that initiative. That is first. Second, during that entire discussion, how much value one individual is adding to the discussion. Okay. Uh, Third is who is listening, who has the very good listening qualities. Like everybody is talking and someone is actually listening to all of that, analyzing in their mind and actually building some conclusion out of it. So that is what we are looking for. Third is summarization. Who can summarize what has been discussed until now? And fifth is going to be your conclusive or analytical abilities, in the sense that whatever discussion that has happened, based on that, what are the insights that you can draw from the group discussion. And lastly, sixth is the presentation skills. How you present yourself throughout the group discussion, in the start and in the end. Okay. So these are the six things that we normally observe when you uh, sit in a group discussion. Okay. So how to go about that? That will cover what group discussions are actually about. So there are four major
Yeah.
types of group discussions. Yeah, you want to ask something? Okay. So there are four major types of group discussions. First is factual. Okay. Whenever you are discussing in a group, when you are discussing facts, okay. For example, we breathe oxygen. That is a fact. When something like that is being spoken on multiple occasions, this group discussion can be considered as factual group discussion. Is it always the case that an entire group discussion is going to stick around factual things only? The answer is no. Okay, it is going to jump into all four groups, but mainly if you are providing facts out of it, numbers or percentages or stuff like that, it becomes factual discussion. This is one important factor of knowing things. So this is these four are, you can say, individual judgment points for judges when they are observing a GD. So what they will observe, when you speak, are you stating facts? Are you giving your opinions? Are you conversing with everybody? And whatever you are speaking, is that abstract or it is related to the group discussion alone? Okay, or the matter or the topic alone. So these are the four types of group discussions where we can go. Now, opinion based is whatever the subject matter is, there can be facts, but there can be different opinions based on social order. Okay. LGBTQ, this is a very common group discussion topic nowadays. But how opinionated are you can be judged based on what and how you are speaking in that group discussion. Okay. Now many companies, I'll tell you, are getting open for or supporting LGBTQ movement in general. So whenever you are speaking in group discussion which has something related to LGBTQ group, don't I'll say go aggressive against them. Okay, try to be more um what we can say accommodative to that particular topic. Why? Because it is part of company's agenda nowadays, so that if you are saying things which are not in favor of cause of that company, that can give you negative points. Okay, so this is just one example. There are many more visions and passions that company carries. Every company has some kind of you can say culture inside their own organization. So uh, this is part of preparation when you are getting into interview for any company. First you research about that company, and research should be something like this: what are their products, what are their manufacturing sites, what do they do, how is their culture, where do they sit, what kind of offices do they have, what kind of um, I mean profiles they follow, what kind of clothing they wear, and stuff like that. So if you know a general, if you have the general awareness about the company, you can incorporate their culture while you are speaking in all sections. Okay, be it GD, be it debate, or be it interview, you can use those. insights from that company to actually fit into their individual culture, even before the interview starts, right? So that is opinion based. Next is conversations, group conversations. So group conversation is basically is a way to identify how you connect with everybody sitting on the table. Okay, so some people get aggressive. Always understand GD is not a debate. It is a group discussion. You should be always and always open to all kinds of views, be it positive, be it negative. You are not supposed to stick to one particular agenda only. You will have to be open to multiple views. Okay, that is first. Second would be you need to involve everybody. It is not necessary that always everybody will start speaking. Some people are shy. Some people are introverts. They don't usually open up in public discussions. So it will be observed if you are proactive enough to actually talk to everybody, ask everybody for their opinions, and ask everybody to add some value to the group discussion. Okay, that shows that that shows your situational awareness. Okay, when you are sitting in a group discussion, something like that also will happen in your company. So when you are sitting in such situation, are you able to understand that not entire team is contributing? Someone is sitting silently, someone is not able to speak out because of more aggressive players in the team. That is possible. So are you addressing them? Are you asking for their opinions? Are you asking for their insights into the subject? That will be observed. Okay. uh, as I said earlier, group conversations are there are two more things that we observe under group conversation. One would be start and end of the group discussion. Are you taking good enough initiative to start the discussion? And end would be, are you taking the initiative to summarize and conclude the discussion? Okay, so these are the 3 4 parameters which are going to come under group conversation parameter. Okay, next is abstract. So what you are discussing, be it you personally or someone in the group in general, someone or more than one people, it is not a discussion that we are having in a cafe. Okay, so this discussion must not deviate from the topic that we started. So this is particularly the case when it's a social topic. What happens is we start from point A, then we go to point B, then we go to point D, and so on and so forth. However, we are supposed to discuss about point A only. Okay, so when the abstract has started, you need to identify it that something abstract has started, and you need to stop it. For example, if we are talking about electromagnetic waves from mobile phones, you don't deviate to AI. AI is an entirely different topic. Stick to one subject that you have taken at hand and complete it, so that the conversation stays inside the box and insights can be drawn out in the limited amount of time that is available to you. Okay, so that is the abstract. So these are the 4 criterias on which we normally judge the candidates for their ability to maneuver the entire discussion in a productive manner. Okay, so that is what the types of group discussion that normally are being observed. So how a group discussion should go? Okay, when it starts, you start with greeting. Greet everybody. Okay, first greet everybody. Second, introduce yourself. If you are not already familiar to the group. Okay, for example, it's if it's a interdisciplinary interdepartmental group, in that case you can introduce and tell them what department you are, and then you can start. Okay, if you have already taken the initiative of introducing the subject, then introduce the subject with your primary input, like what is the first thing that you want to talk about this subject. This is going to set a direction to the entire group discussion. Okay, so taking an initiative is basically equivalent to having white colored pawns in your chessboard. White plays the first move. So when you are starting the discussion, you place the first move, and everybody has to align themselves into that direction. So taking an initiative can give you an edge uh, in the entire group discussion, because you can choose a particular set of ideas which are favorable in your understanding, or in which you are good at. Okay, not everybody is good at everything. So if you are taking initiative in the group discussion, you will have an advantage to deliver things in the way, or you can align the discussion in the way that you want it to go. Okay, there are always possibilities that someone else will be stronger and they will push their agendas forward, but having to start the discussion is one positive point that everybody can try and acquire. Okay, next is group discussion mid or body of the group discussion. Okay, so what are the key things that you can try to do during a group discussion? Okay, these things are observed, and these things are important parameters on which you are actually rated. So first would be respectful communication. Are you respectful to everyone in the group? Okay, are you trying to dominate anybody? That would be a negative point. Are you trying to silent somebody? That would be a negative point. That becomes disrespectful. So always be respectful for the communication. Okay, you can see in this pyramid diagram, respectful communication is on top. Okay, and in the bottom it's time management. So time management is the basis. You have a fixed amount of time and you need to maneuver the entire discussion into that amount of time. That is going to be your base, and throughout the discussion you need to remain respectful. Okay, so that is going to be pinnacle of your pyramid. So these two are the major criterias. Apart from that, everything else is going to be like these two things are going to overwrite your in general uh, group discussion. If these two things fail, everything else doesn't matter. How valuable things you add to the group discussion won't matter if you are not respectful enough, or you exceed your timing way more than what is allotted, or you finish too early. So uh, these two are going to be your key skills. Okay, next we'll talk about active listening. So what is active listening? Once you are done talking, you also need to listen to everyone else. Okay, and I think almost all of you know the difference between listening and hearing. Hearing is just hearing and not thinking about it, not doing anything about it, not giving any importance to that particular subject matter. Listening is basically hearing it, then analyzing it, and then doing some kind of action about it, or in this case, in GD case, address that particular subject. Okay, provide your opinion on that subject. You can either agree or disagree. If you disagree, give the details of your disagreement. Why do you disagree? What is the reason behind your disagreement? And provide try to stick with facts when you are disagreeing. When you are disagreeing just because you are prejudices, it is also taken negatively. So try to stick with facts when you are disagreeing with someone. Okay, so that's active listening. Collaboration and participation. So collaboration and participation is mainly to give equal opportunity to everyone to add their values to this particular group discussion. If you are liking some of the points from somebody else, are you providing them with the right appreciation? If you are not liking somebody's input, then are you giving a critical feedback or positive critical feedback? Okay, so just discarding someone's opinions is absolutely bad. When you are disagreeing with someone, try to correct them in a way that it is not disrespectful, and they also understand um, your side of the
Sir, you are not audible.
God, I'm so sorry. I've been speaking for. Okay. So until when was it audible?
Yes, sir.
Sir, your last sentence was try to connect them in a way that it is not disrespectful and they also understand your side of the you. ऐसे करके.
Okay. So on this page, right? So we were able to reach until this page, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Great. Great. Fine. So okay. Collaboration and participation. I'll start from there. So collaboration and participation is basically listening to everyone and making sure that everyone gets to speak. Okay. So for example, when you are collaborating in a group discussion, you need to give equal opportunities for everyone to speak. You need to identify if someone is not speaking, and just a second. Sorry about that. Okay, so you need to give equal opportunities to everybody in the group so that all of them can speak. Next is, if you do not agree with someone, in that case, you can provide feedback which is in the positive critical feedback. Okay, it can also be called constructive feedback. So if you don't like somebody's opinion, or if you disagree with someone, uh, while delivering your feedback to that particular discussion, always try to be polite first, respectful second, third, stick to facts. Okay, deliver your facts in a way that you are disagreeing, being respectful, and you can change their opinion based on facts. So, uh, I don't agree with you, and that's it. That is not going to work here. I don't agree with you because one reason, second reason, and third reason. And based on these three reasons, the conclusion would be something else. And that is why I'm disagreeing with you. And this is the right approach. So, fifth and last terminology is this is the right approach. So, this is constructive feedback. Okay. Flexibility and adaptability is going to come under a tab wherein if you are proven wrong, if somebody else is convincing you about their facts, about their opinion based on good facts, right facts, so you also need to show the flexibility and adaptability in a way that that you are agreeable. If someone else is presenting facts and they are disproving your argument, in that case you need to be flexible enough to acknowledge it and agree with them. Okay, so that is flexibility and adaptability. Remember, always and always remember the difference that GD is not a debate. So in GD it is okay if you give away your points, or give away your opinions for someone else's opinions. The agenda for group discussion is to move forward, come to a conclusion wherein everybody is agreeing. Okay. Then goal orientation. So goal orientation is sticking to the subject. When you are talking about anything, any social or technical topic, in that case, sticking to that topic is very important. Whenever you identify that the group is deviating from the main subject, you can stop everybody and bring them back onto the table and remind them of the topic that we are discussing right now. It is very common that group discussions can go in multiple directions, basically because of interlinkage of multiple topics. So it is not their crime as such, but because many topics are interrelated, we tend to lose our orientation towards our goal. So it is important to notice that we are deviating from the subject and bring everybody back. So in this entire slide, what we discussed is there are two key parameters which will be observed. First is respectful communication, and second is time management. You can't end too early, you can't go too far. Okay, you need to be respectful throughout the communication. There are three um, basically things that you can do during the discussion. Try to stick to your subject. Second is let everybody talk. Make sure that everybody talks. Okay, if someone is silent, if someone is not comfortable speaking in the public domain, you can ask them to add some value. And when you ask, they will speak at least one or two lines. That is good enough. But these people may have held some good value in their minds, which can be delivered because of your initiative. Okay, so these are the things that you can observe during the group discussion itself. So these are the parameters on which people are judging you for group discussions. Okay, next is end. How should you be ending the group discussion? Okay, first is summarization. So summarization is just listing down all the points or all the ways through which the discussion went through. Okay, summarization is all the points being discussed. Okay, and acknowledgements, also I'll say use paraphrasing. Summarization के साथ साथ you also do paraphrasing. So
Sir,
along with
not
the
audible.
discussion, yeah, I just changed the setting. Is it audible now?
Yes, sir, but screen is not visible.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Okay. Uh, so yeah, summarization and acknowledgement. So summarization is listing down all the points that we have discussed during this group discussion, but you can also paraphrase. Okay. Now, what is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is basically identifying the key parameters of the entire discussion. Okay. If you, let's say, have touched upon 20 different ideologies and you think five of them are the most important value adds to this because of this discussion, in that case say it out loud, and that can also be part of your conclusion. So because x y z, because of these 3 points I think, and after I think comes your conclusion. Okay, so that is your conclusion. In acknowledgements, what you need to do is, if some of the team members were really influential and were able to add really good value to your discussion, then address them. For example, Santosh said this particular thing, and because of that, we were able to move forward into our discussion. Priya added this point, which was very valuable, and because of all of these contributions, I can now be able to conclude XYZ. Okay, so this is acknowledgements. When you are in a group discussion, also address everybody else in a sense that they feel valued. Okay, and this quality is definitely observed if you have added the things to added your own value to the group discussion. Other people also have, so address them, acknowledge them that yes, you have contributed and thanks a lot for the contribution, and say that in the end of the group discussion. Okay, so group discussion will be.
Sir, so sorry, but screen is not visible.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not able to share.
Screen,
Yeah.
just a minute.
Govind, now that I'm meanwhile reading your comments, Hindi and English mixed up. So don't worry about your language, okay? It is See,
मौसम बढ़िया
English.
हो गया, गर्मी खत्म हो गई। पंजे में राजे मैंने से आज
Sir, now?
No, it's still not shareable. So Govind, always remember Hindi or English is language which is meant to communicate the ideas. Okay, so at least in India, if you are not crossing borders, in that case, as long as you are in India, most people understand Hindi as well as English. Okay, and uh, it is okay, really okay, to use both languages simultaneously. Okay, yes, sir, Ali, I got the access to share the screen. No problem. So when you talk in a formal setting, it is okay if you use or mix two or three languages. Okay, let's say Hindi or Marathi is your primary language. Do you really think that we use pure Hindi or pure Marathi throughout our discussions? No, we can't. We are so dependent on multiple languages. We are multilinguals, we call that. We always mix and match multiple languages in our day to day life so that we can actually make sure that individual sitting in front of you understands what you are trying to say. Okay, so if you don't know English well, it's absolutely fine. You can mix Hindi and English together to deliver your answer. It is fine for the interviewer. You need to know good written English, that is for sure. Okay, because when you write down, you can't write Hindi mixed with English, so you need to know good written English. But you can mix Hindi and English while answering your questions, while in interview also, while sitting in a group discussion or debate, that's fine. Your English fluency is one of the parameters, but it is not the only parameters for selection. Okay, how much value do you add to the entire discussion, that is the major criteria over your language. Okay, so it's okay if you mix multiple languages, that's fine. Again, you can use even secondary and tertiary languages if you know the panel sitting in front of you is multilingual. Okay, for example, if you know the person sitting in front of you is Tamil and you know Tamil well, it is okay if you mix Tamil and English, that is fine. If you know the person sitting in front of you is Gujarati and you know Gujarati, you can mix Gujarati with English and Hindi and stuff like that, that's okay. It is understandable as long as you are actually communicating the right answers to the questions being asked. Okay, so there is no problem there. Coming back to the end of group discussion, so group discussions are ended in three phases. First is summarization, that is listing down all the points, not just the key points, all the points. Then comes paraphrasing. Okay, paraphrasing is identifying the key points, like what changed the direction or what changed your views or what actually brought some value to this group discussion, that is paraphrasing. Repeat those points. Okay, just repeat those. And then acknowledgement is acknowledge the people, that is acknowledgement. Acknowledge the people who contributed these valuable points to the group discussion. Okay, that will be acknowledgement. Thanking everyone, that thank you Samir, thank you Priya for addressing these 2 points. These really added values to our discussion today. Okay, then, and the last one is conclusion, that is sharing your opinion based on whatever discussion that has happened to last 20 minutes. This is what I think is the scenario, that is conclusion. Okay, and if possible also give reasoning. Now sometimes you give reasoning before you conclude, that is during the summarization and paraphrasing. You can refer to that as because of these reasons I conclude, or you can start with conclusion. We can conclude this based on, then you can paraphrase and summarize. Okay, so the ideal way is to go summarize first, conclude, and then paraphrase. So any which ways, it's a good combination. These three parameters should be there in your end remarks. Okay, So that is how group discussions end. Now we will take questions in the end, no problem. As of now, switch to debate. Okay. Now there is a stark difference between group discussion and debate. So debate is something basically in which there are two parties, among which first party is going to support a proposition and second party is going to oppose the proposition. Okay. So one party is affirmative, second party is negative, and what is their individual goal. Okay, so when you get into a debate, make sure that you have right research with you. Okay, debates are basically one on facts. So if you are able to discredit the individual sitting in front of you based on facts, not opinions, based on facts, that is your win. Okay, so make sure you have good research available with you before you sit into a debate. Normally they'll give you somewhere around 2 to 5 minutes to prepare, or sometimes even less. So you need to be good with your search. Try to fluently use Google, try to fluently use chat GPT. That's fine. Try, reading books is out of the order. You can do that way before, like the time has gone now. Reading books, newspapers is always good, but you don't have that much time before the debate starts. So the in general preparation would be start reading books, start reading newspapers. uh, just a second, someone is here. Sorry about that, there was someone here. So that is the key difference between debate and group discussion. Okay. Debate group discussions are one on value added and acknowledgement, the collaboration, whereas debate is one on facts. So more facts you know, that is better. Okay. In general, how you prepare for it, read multiple books, read newspapers, be aware of what is happening in the world, and talk about that. Okay. Normally debates don't happen on technical topics. Debates will always happen on social topics because things technically are well proven. Okay, you can simply state facts and both of the parties have to agree. Okay, gravity works, everybody knows that. There are thousands of equations solving the same thing again and again, over and over again. Okay, so there is no debate in gravity. Always most of the topics that are going to be in the debate will be social topics. Okay, so how do you prepare for it? Know your weakness before your strength. Okay, whatever the topic is given to you, there are always strengths of that topic and there are always weaknesses of that topic. Okay, so whenever you start a debate, be aware what your weaknesses are for that topic and what your strengths are for that topic. Okay, list them down in the preparation time, list them down. Next would be aggressive at time. Be aggressive while delivering your points. Also be attentive what words are being used by your opponent. Okay, because these words are really important. This is more like a lawyer fighting a case, something like that. So be attentive to what somebody else is saying. Okay, what are the keys that are important which can lead to you winning a debate? Okay, so always listen to the words okay or okay, when someone is saying okay or always look for these words. Okay, these words are called affirmations and they indicate agreement. So whatever argument that you are making, if opponent is saying okay or in that case it's a possibility that they are agreeing with you. Okay, also frame a sentence in such a way that your opponent has to say yes, you are right. Okay, if your opponent says that, it's a clear win for you. Okay, so how do you do that? There is an example in the next phase, but That is what you are trying to achieve here. Try to make or frame the sentences in a way where your opponent is make like opponent has to say yes, you are right. Okay. For this particular line, yes, I agree. For example, if you are caught saying yes, you are right. Okay. So if you are caught saying yes, you are right, immediately after that add a but. Okay. When you are caught saying affirmative words like okay, yes, you are right, immediately after that say yes, I agree, but that but is very important, and that but must follow with two things. First, a clear fact that disapproves the opponent. Okay. And second would be a diversion which overpowers your weakness. So whenever you agree with somebody, that's a weakness in the debate. Okay. So you should give an alternate fact or the fact which disproves the argument that individual has made. Okay. So why I'm emphasizing on this? This it's a facts game. The more facts you know about the subject, the better. Okay. So if you are made to say yes, I agree, then always stick with but in the end, and immediately after the but you need to follow up with two things. First, the fact which is showing that there is a possibility of lacuna in the argument that the opponent has made, and along with that put on a diversion which will be diverting the entire discussion into your strong suit. Okay. So this is the key thing that you can try to achieve. And there's an example immediately after that. If A says Dhoni is too old to be a captain, he has lost his game. So the answer is yes. Dhoni is not in the team anymore. Dhoni is sitting on the fence or doing stuff which is not directly related to cricket in general. Yes, Saunewala says yes, I agree. But haven't we seen Tendulkar come back after several years? The answer is yes. Tendulkar, is it related to Dhoni? No. It is an entirely different person, but it's a fact. So Tendulkar made his comeback several times during his entire career. And won't you agree, Dhoni is the first one who won all the cups for India? The answer is yes. So, first, you gave a fact which was in a way disapproving of the previous comment by your opponent that Dhoni is too old and can't be a captain. But Tendulkar was also old. He made his comeback. Okay. So, that disapproves his previous comment. And upon that, what you are saying is Dhoni has the capability of winning all the cups. Then don't you think he can be a captain again? So then the opponent has to say, yes, I agree. And that is your win. So you can form a statement in a way, or you can form your arguments in a way where you are making your opponent to say these particular phrases. Yes, I agree. Yes, you are right. Or okay. Okay. These are your clear wins. Try to find those particular facts in your arguments. Okay. Questions will take in for now. Okay. Next interview. This we are going to go in deep. So if you want, we can take a quick 5 minutes, precisely 5 minutes break, and we can start. Okay. It's a long discussion, and if possible, after this, we will take a mock interview. Uh, if anyone is willing to volunteer, we can do that, and then we can end today's session. Okay. After this, I'm going to give you a life hack which I have used personally. I have taught personally, and multiple students have benefited. So I'll talk about that. And uh, this life hack is basically making sure to prepare you for the interview, to increase your fluency in English, to increase your fluency in communication, and in general be better prepared for interviews. So that is the life hack that I'm going to share after this date. Okay. So stick around. If you have any questions, you can put down in the chat box now also, or you can do it afterwards also. No problem. So yes, it's 3-7 now. Let's meet. Let's meet at 3:12, 3:30 sharp. Okay. Okay, I hope everybody is back. Just a second. Let's resume. So, interview. Okay. Uh, what are the things that you need to prepare for in an interview? Okay. So, interview preparation. When you like, this is one night before. Okay, this is not before. Uh, this is not on the day of interview. This must happen before the interview day itself. Okay, so research, know about the company that you are interviewing for. Okay, what they are doing, what is their forte, who is your interviewer or interviewers, what kind of questions do they ask. So normally interviews that happen in colleges are legacy interviews or legacy companies. These companies are coming to interview you for multiple years, so your immediate seniors would know what kind of questions these people ask, what kind of key knowledge they are seeking for. Okay, so talk to your seniors, talk to your uh, professors who have been coordinating with these people for multiple years, and try to understand what kind of interviewers we are going to face and what kind of questions do they ask. Okay, what is their individual expertise in what subject. Okay, so that is what you will be preparing for before the interview itself. Okay, next, take a good rest before one night before the interview. Okay, it is very important. In this rest, you basically if you make a night out just before interview, your face will show the sign of uh, tiredness, and you don't want that in an interview. You want to show a fresh face into the interview so that uh, the individual becomes comfortable with you. Okay, so it's good to have a good night rest before the interview itself. Okay, next would be prepare for the most common questions in general. This is now related to HR uh, related questions. So prepare for most unique answers also. Okay. So most common question is what? Introduce yourself. This is one question that every interviewer will ask you in any interview. Okay. So write the most unique answer. Don't go for a Google answer. Write your answer. Yes, take reference of Google answers. Make your adjustment to that answer and make a unique answer. Okay, how to build that answer, we will talk about that also. Okay, but prepare the most unique answer for yourself. It should be your answer, it should not be good. Okay, uh, this is the first and most common question. Apart from that, there are multiple most common questions. You can search it on Google and you'll have a list for them. So prepare for the most common questions and try to be creative in creating your own answers. Okay, be good at storytelling, make your own stories and deliver them. Okay, there is one example that I can share is write 10 stories about yourself. Okay, and I'll guarantee you almost 90% of questions that are going to come in HR interview, you can answer based on those 10 stories only. Okay, so build your own stories, write them down, prepare them well, and while answering, you can always relate that topic to one of the 10 stories and answer your question based on one of these stories. So you are prepared for the answer, you are not thinking on the go. So as it is always better to be more prepared than um building it on the spot, because on building on the spot can get you into trouble. You can say some things which might end up uh, in negative in the long term, or it can harm your negotiation or stuff like that. Okay, so always be prepared. Next is practice your interview. Okay, practice your posture, how you sit in an interview, how do you make hand gestures, how do you speak certain words. Okay, how do you greet, how do you say thank you, and stuff like that. So practice your posture. If your interview is online, nowadays many interviews do happen online. So if something like that is going to happen, arrange everything beforehand. What is arrange everything means? Arrange your good Wi-Fi, arrange your notes, arrange your basically anything that might be required inside an interview. Okay, everything must be arranged. Your Wi-Fi must be good. You must have one alternate source of Wi-Fi. For example, you have a router, it failed suddenly during the interview. You must have a good mobile connection or something like that as a backup, so that you can still continue your interview with minimum amount of glitch. Okay. Third is, if you have in-person interview, in that case, have extra backup copies of important documents. For example, if they are asking you to bring your college certificates, they are asking you to bring your HSC, SSC passing certificates. If they are asking you to bring some achievement or scholarship certificates that you might have, so keep one copy which is ready, which you will give immediately after reaching, but also always keep one backup copy which is ready, photographs, passport size photos, something like that. Always keep one backup copy of entire set of that document with you at all times. Okay. For example, there's a possibility that you might miss one or two papers while stapling it, and on the go you will have to arrange them during the interview, and that can become a stressful factor in the interview itself. So it's better to have multiple copies ready with you while you go into the interview itself. Okay. And present them immediately on the go. Okay. Next is structure your responses. So when I say structure your responses, which is again very important, see, you know all the answers, you know all the you have done your research, but how do you present them? So presenting an answer, see, knowing an answer and presenting an answer are two different things. So when you know an answer, you tend to jump on the final conclusion, but that is not expected in an interview. What is expected in an interview is how you present that answer. So structuring is part of that presentation. So how do you structure a response? First, you give them what is your thought process. For example, if you're asked to explain something, start with what you know about it. Like, this is what I know about it. Based on this, this is my analysis, and that is why this is the answer. So it becomes a three-step answer. So it is called structuring the answer. When you are answering some question, try to structure it. Give a reasoning behind that answer particularly. Okay. Particular one question that I would definitely like to structure is introduce yourself. Okay. This answer is most like, it is the worst answer many people give. So I would like to listen to good structure here. Uh, Kindly mute everybody if you're not asking any questions. So I would like to hear a structure in this particular response, because this is the first question. This is your impression making question. So be sure that you structure this answer. How do we structure that? We'll see here. Okay. Okay. It is not written again. Fine. So when you structure a response for the first question, Omkar, ओंकार आपका माइक ओपन है क्या? You are not asking question, can you?
Sorry.
No problem, thank you. Okay, so when you are structuring your response, particularly the first question, always structure in a way that you are showing your different values in that answer. Okay, when I'm saying that, what exactly do I mean? First, you tell your name. Second, you tell where you were born. Okay, you will tell this only if it has somewhat contributed to your personality now. Okay, so when you are saying that, okay, I was born in Himachal, or I was born in, let's say, Mumbai, or I was born in Pondicherry, which is next to the sea. So these are the key phrases that you are using to show that you have inclination towards, or basically, because I was born in Himachal, uh, many people there are very humble and polite. So that is my cultural background. Okay, when you are seeing that I have lived next to the sea, you are saying that I have the understanding of depths, and that is what I'm seeking in my learnings also. Okay, if when you are saying you are from Mumbai, you can say that it's a competitive environment, and I'm thriving. Like it is basically in my blood to thrive in the competition. So whenever you are giving something, whenever you are using some kind of explanation or adjective for yourself, try to show the value behind that answer. Just don't say the facts, because not everybody's familiarized with your environment. Okay, so structure your response well. Use your words very carefully. So when you say that I was born in Pondicherry, I have been exposed to sea a lot, and that has inspired me to look into the subjects in depth. Okay, so this is one response. What could you say after that? Then I went to my academics. My academics is such and such. This is what I have achieved in my academics. I Then I went to engineering college, which is right now. I have been excelling into these particular subjects. I have been into these organizations. I have been into these academic groups, and I have written these many papers and stuff like that. So structure your answer in a way that people need to see the progress that you are making over the period of time. Since you were born to the day that you are sitting in an interview, they should know it's always a positive trajectory and you are growing continuously. Okay, so that is how you need to structure your responses. Also, I would like to encourage all of you to end this particular response in a way that triggers the next question the way you want it. Okay, for example, your strong suit is heat exchange, okay, or mass transfer. So end the question, end this answer, like introduce yourself in a way that interviewer is automatically triggered to ask that kind of a question. For example, in the ends, if your mass transfer is your strong suit, say, uh, I like, and throughout this engineering, I have been working on multiple distillation columns, which is part of mass transfers, and I am really good at it. And that is where you end. So your last sentence is something which is going to stick in the end in the mind of your interviewer, and that is where the next question is going to come, most probably. Okay, unless the interviewer is also prepared and looking for a specific subject, uh, they are going to ask you something which you triggered them to ask. Okay, so structure your response, it is very important. uh, okay, now we are going to get into the life hack that I told you about. So how do you prepare for an interview, and how do you make sure that you are always and always ready for any kind of interview that comes your way? So this is from my personal experience. We have used these methods, and I personally have got multiple jobs because of this. We as a group did this. We taught this to our juniors, and our juniors followed it, and they are also uh, finding it very, very, very useful. They have also, as I know, they have also delivered the same legacy to our juniors. So this is a tried and tested method. It always works. It is very helpful. It will also help you to navigate around your English fluency, and it will give you a slightest confidence when you are going to sit into an interview. Okay, so there are three steps for this particular method to work, and we'll discuss all of them. Okay, I have very recently added the fourth, but three are good enough for students as of now. Okay, first, how to practice. So find friends. If you are living in hostel, amazing, find your roommates, bash them down, make them sit down and do these things together. Okay, if you are not living in hostel, find good friends, find right time, and make sure you do this. Okay, so find friends, if possible seniors who are already passed out, who have faced multiple interviews in their careers. So find friends, if possible seniors, and start with debate. Okay, why I'm saying debate? Okay, let's finish this slide, there are details ahead. So start with debate, then do GDs, and then have extremely hard interview panel of your friends. Okay. At least do 3 debates per person per day. If let's say if you have 3 weeks or a month to prepare, every day do 3 debates, do 3 GDs, and do one interview. Okay. Now this interview will be both, because they are your friends. They can take both HR as well as technical questions. Let's say they are from the same department, so they can take both technical as well as HR questions. So there should be one interview which is both technical and HR. Okay. Prepare one personal video record of first question. Okay. Introduce yourself, or please tell us about yourself. Okay. So this is the first video. I'm saying record your video. Okay. Put your front camera on, set the phone in front of you, and start the recording and answer this question. Okay. How many times do you should you do this? As many times as you can. Okay. So these are the 4 steps that I would request you to follow to prepare for an interview. Okay. Now let's get into why I am saying these things work. Okay. First, why I'm asking you to start with debate. So when you are speaking, when you are observe this, किसी से झगड़ा कर रहे हो, तो झगड़ा करने के टाइम पे you are not thinking about your language, you are not thinking about uh, what word is right and what word is wrong. You are just delivering the content, right? So why is that happening? Because of adrenaline in your body. So use that adrenaline. When you are debating something, you are pushing for your subject, you are pushing for your agenda, and you are not thinking about your language. Okay. But try to do it in English. Okay. So when you are using your adrenaline, because you are so stuck into that subject, you end up thinking fast and thinking more fluently. Okay. So that actually helps you to improve your English. Okay. That will also help you to increase your communication in general. So in last 2 hours I'm speaking with you, there are multiple occasions when I have used both Hindi and English simultaneously. But did were you able to immediately comprehend that I just switched the language? No. Why? Because I'm continuously speaking, and we both, all of us, are connected in a way that we are focusing on the subject matter more than my English language fluency. Okay. So when you are debating, that is what you are trying to achieve. Okay. You are trying to increase your fluency in a language, plus you are trying to increase your fluency in the communication in general. Okay. That is one. Second key skill that you are working on is listening and faster comprehension. Okay. So in debate you are under stress because both parties are firing things at each other. You are listening very sharply to what the opposing individual is saying, and you are trying to understand that, comprehend that, and making a right and formulating a right response in your head continuously. Okay. So it is basically pushing you to think on your toes. So that is why start with debates. Okay. Now, which kind of topics should be there in debates? Don't take technical topics. Take social topics, controversial social topics. Take India Pakistan. Take India Bangladesh. Take cricket. Take any subject like Modi, non-Modi, BJP, whatever you like. Take controversial social topics. Why? Because you are very influenced by these particular things, and you are open to like so much information about it. So right now our goal is to not be critical, our goal is to improve our fluency. So take a topic which you know a lot about both parties and debate upon that. Okay. So mobile phone is a blessing or con, like that's so ghisapita topic, everybody knows about it. So use such topics for debates. Okay. Do 3 debates every day. This will definitely help you to improve your English or fluency in general in communication. Okay. Next would be GDs. GDs should be normally GDs in interview whenever it happens in the formal context. It happens on social causes. It never happens on technical causes. But I'd recommend here that you use one GD on social cause, because that is what is going to actually happen during the interview. But two more GDs on social topics. Sorry, technical topics. Why technical topics? Because you are all departmental friends. You know individual knowledge depth, and some things are observed by some people, some things are missed by some people. So when you are doing a technical group discussion in this phase, you end up gaining knowledge. Everybody ends up gaining knowledge about technical stuff. Okay, so do first GD on the social topic, and second and third GD on the uh, technical topics. Okay, do three of them every day. So three debates, three GDs every day. Okay, what will it do? It will improve your analytical skill. Okay, you are understanding the topics, you are basically taking in multiple perspectives, and you are improving your knowledge in general. Okay, you will also gather a lot of knowledge, that what others are thinking, what other terminologies are available, what is the actual idea behind it. Sometimes we understand the subject, but somebody else may know it deeper, and they can give you insights in these GDs. So that is the goal of GDs. Debate is to improve your language, GD is to improve your knowledge. Okay, so three debates, three GDs per day, that is what I would recommend. Interviews. Okay, uh, I would want you to take your best friends. Okay, why? Because they hate you. They won't care what you are thinking about them, because they already know you are best friends. So take your best friends, make them sit across you, and uh, preferably, if you have more than one interviewer during these kind of mock interviews, it's better. Okay, have two or three people interviewing you, and make them interview you as harsh as possible. Okay, so that is the idea behind these mock interviews. So to make your brain remember perfect answers. Okay, when you're answering your question, when you're answering the questions, because they are your friends, they are going to catch on to the words, and they are going to grill you about that. So basically, this practice is to refine your answers. This practice is to make sure that you or answer the right answer always. Okay, you don't deviate from the right answer. So that is the idea behind having mock interviews, to make your brain remember the perfect answer and present them correctly. Okay, that is the first goal. Second, to refine your answers to choose the right words every time. Okay, so see, if you sit into 30 interviews, interviewer is the actual company interviewer is not going to ask something out of universe. It is going to some way related to that only. If you have answered 30 technical questions, 30 technical interviews which are taken by your friends and really harshly, in that case you know where you lack. So you study those things before you sit into an actual interview, and you know the right answers for almost all the questions. And as I explained earlier in the yesterday's session, 65% is the cutoff. If you are able to answer minimum 65% to 85, 80 to 85% is very good. So if you are able to answer minimum 65, 70% of all the questions that are being asked to you, you are good enough. You are a good fit. Okay. Nobody knows everything. So it's okay to not know answers. Don't try to answer wrong things. Okay. If you don't know the answer, sir, say, sir, I don't know the answer, or ma'am, I don't know the answer. Uh, I'll study about it. Okay. So why mock interviews? This is why mock interviews. Why friends? Because they know your weakness and they can attack on those weaknesses repetitively. Okay. So that you will know that they are helping you in the end. Okay. What should be the panel, the interview panel be doing? Okay. So they should answer these four questions. So when you are in an interview panel, you are taking your friend's interview. What are you doing? So you are trying to identify, was the candidate able to answer 85 80% or plus 80% plus questions in a satisfactory manner. Okay, that is our end goal. Minimum 80% right answers. So that is when you are prepared 80% here in the mock interview, you will be 65% definitely prepared for the actual interview. Okay, so 80% minimum should be your goal for these practices. So was the candidate able to answer 80% or plus questions satisfactorily? Okay, next, was the candidate prepared for the interview? Okay, next, will you hire the candidate? If you are on the interview panel, you just had taken an interview, will you hire the candidate? Okay. And last would be, what should he work on for the next interview? Okay. So these are the 4 questions that interview panel must answer at the end of the interview. Okay. You can change the sequence, but this is what mock interviews are for. These are the guidelines that mock interviews must provide in the end. Okay. So uh, so you should have mock interviews as much as possible. Next is, why a personal video? Okay. So first, to understand how you appear to the person sitting in front of you. Okay. How, whoever is your interview, how are they seeing you? How are you visible to them? Okay. That is first. Second is to correct your posture. Okay. um, Third is to correct your speech, and last and final is to refine your answer. Okay. So how to analyze this video? First, mute the video entirely. Analyze how you appear. This video is approximately of 1 minute, and mute the video. Just look at you. How do you? How are you visible? Are you moving your hands? Are you smiling more? Are you stressed? Are you, like, what are your features in that interview? Look at that. Okay. That is mute, by muting your video. Don't listen to your voice, just listen to your just look at your video. Okay. This will give you insight on how do you appear. Okay. Next is, flip your phone over, max out your volume, and analyze how do you sound. Okay. Are there voice modulations in your sound? Are you speaking on the same tone? Are you going too loud, or are you going too low? So analyze that. Where can you improve your voice modulation? Where are like, what are the locations where there are supposed to be full stops but you're using comma? Whereas are the sentences too long? Are the sentences too short? Okay. So there are so many parameters that you can analyze by listening to your own voice. Okay. Third and last would be, watch both together for language and words that you are using. Okay. So first would be, to analyze how you look, how you appear. Okay. Second would be to understand how you sound, and third would be to understand what words you are using, what language you are using. Okay. Can you increase the fluency? Can you use better words? Can you see, this question, this video that you are going to film on, this is the most common question being asked in all interviews. Almost 95% interviewers do ask this question: introduce yourself. So be best prepared for this question. Okay. And this is the best way to prepare for that. Okay. So that is the of video. Okay. Now, personal preparation for the interview, like, this is more of a group discussion, or uh, like, you do all of these things in a team, but what do you personally develop? Okay. So what do you personally prepare? First, develop a storytelling skill. Okay. So when you are telling something, try to relate it to, like, see, our brains are always asking for linkage in multiple things. You cannot jump from A to B without A to X without B C D E in between. Okay. So always try to construct some kind of story. Okay. Second, work on your personal story. uh, Give it a flair in which you can show that you are always progressing until this point of time, and you want to continue to show that progress going ahead. Okay. That is your story. So build your story. Next is, structure it in a way that there is a continuous connection between what you are saying, the points that you are making. Okay. That is structuring the concept. Then next would be, ask cross questions to this story. Okay. Whatever you have built right now, there will be cross questions in the interview. So ask your own cross questions to this particular story, and make sure your story is clear and crisp. It should not be too long. You don't have 15 minutes to introduce yourself. You have hardly 2 minutes to introduce yourself. So make sure it is clear, it is highlighting most points, and it is crisp, it is to the point. Okay. And if your introduction is too long, you end up risking it being cut by your interviewer. Okay, so as I explained earlier, your plan during this introduction is to land the interviewer in the right zone where you want them asking questions to be. Okay, but if your introduction is too long, in that case interviewer might just say, Acha, okay, now tell me about distillation column, where distillation column is not your strong suit. You are going to say heat exchangers in the end, but you said because your introduction was too long, interviewer got bored and they cut you short. So that should not happen. That is why make it crisp and clear, but it should also highlight your key achievements during your life. Okay, so these are the personal preparations. A sample structure would look something like this: your name, your city of birth, something unique about it, how it contributed to your personality, what value did it add to your personality. Okay, what is your passion, how do you follow them. Okay, what was your academics, what are your achievements in that. Okay, projects and internships that you have done, choose this very carefully. Okay, this will be the last part of your introduction so that you can expect a question on this. Okay, also if you have done, let's say, 3 projects in your entire engineering, in that case keep the project in like choose one project which you are most comfortable with in the end. Okay, where so that the interviewers ask question on that particular subject. Okay, so this is the sample structure. It can be anything else for you. You can basically think about your personal story and structure your story based on these lines. Okay, so yes, this was the presentation until now. This is what we plan to cover. These are some more skills that we do on Chem Club for both students as well as working professionals. These are presentational skills, networking skills, corporate behavior skills, most common software skills, and investment skills. So these are some things that we are planning to start on Chem Club for working professionals, and how to in general help them to you know be more confident and fluent in their approach toward industries. Okay, so that would be an end from my side, guys. Now I'm open for all questions. If there are any questions, if any one of you is willing to go ahead, we can have a small mock interview, and then we will end this session for today. Okay, so I'm open for any questions that you might have. Uh, Please go ahead and ask questions. Pariniti, Swarali, can we share the presentation? It's up to you guys.
We'll discuss with sir, sir. Let you know.
Sure, sure. Pariniti, it is not clear as of now. It is intellectual property, so I don't know if we are open to share the PPTs. However, the video will be available on the portal, so you can refer these things from there. Okay. Sir, can you share a sample resume for fresher candidates? We discussed this yesterday. I will show you a general sample. Normally, all student resumes do look like this. Okay, something like this. There is no section for work experience. So normally, all the student resumes are going to look something like this. Okay, sure. I'm really sorry, I did not share the screen. Okay. So normally, student resumes are going to look like these. That's okay. Something like this. Remove the work X, instead put the education and stuff like that here. Okay, these are the key parameters that your resume should have: a header, objective summary, education, relevant skills, experience, leadership, and extracurricular activities, awards, and honors. Okay, so we covered this topic in detail yesterday. So I talked about all the individual sections and what it actually represents. Okay, if you are able to have that yesterday's video, please go through that. It's very helpful. Okay, what type of questions are asked in interviews? Okay, Govind, there are two different kind of interviews. If you are getting into technical interview, in that case, it is very subjective. It is actually what job role you are applying for. Okay, for example, if you are applying for an operations role, in that case, they'll ask you more about heat exchangers, how they function in field. Okay, if you're applying for a job role which is process oriented, in that case they'll ask you more academics, they'll ask you formulas, they'll ask you theorems, they'll ask you uh, such things, basically more academics. And if you are going into operations, they'll ask you more applications. Okay, also for process industry, they might ask you a lot about what software knowledge that you have. Okay, so it is very subjective what kind of questions which will come, and that is the research. Basically, that is what you research before you get into an interview, like what kind of job role that they are hiring you for, and what is the exposure that they are expecting out of a candidate. Okay, uh, sir, what subject should we prepare thoroughly for the interview? Okay, as a student, the most common subjects are transfer are going to be sufficiently enough. Uh, some amount of fluid flow, but heat transfer and transfer should be thoroughly done well. Okay, uh, because these are the most required uh, skills that are there in the industry. Okay, unless you are trying to get into some kind of research oriented job roles, then you will be required CRE and process calculations, and even as anything that you can take to greater depths. But most common are heat exchange and mass transfer. Excuse me, guys. Please feel the feedback form. It will help me to improve for my next and future sessions. Uh, Sir, I currently am working in a manufacturing industry, but I want to switch to design company. What type of skills and knowledge is needed? Okay. Um, so SD, what happens is now switching to design. Again, design mein there are multiple fields. I understand what kind of career that you are seeking for. So as of now, there are three mainstream non like white collar chemical engineering jobs, and there is one blue collar chemical engineering job that you are in right now. So there is one manufacturing industry, multiple possibilities in blue collar, and there are three white collar fields that are running up and running right. First would be engineering. Okay, like process engineering. Second would be technical side, okay, or technology side. Sir, you must have heard of terminologies like process engineer, process technologist. Okay, so process engineer is someone who actually designs the entire, like who works on designing the plant. Okay, so that is design engineering. For that, you can do some kind of courses. Of course, Chem Club has those courses. You can explore them. You can learn about few softwares, simulation softwares and stuff like that. Okay, so that is the key skill that you can acquire. For technology, you are already exposed to. Okay, for example, let's say you are working in petrochemical sector right now, so you can learn about your plant entirely, thoroughly, with their design philosophy, like why did they design what they designed right now. Okay, so can how can I change it? If there is certain pump, if I change that pump to some other kind of pump, what will happen? So that is the technology approach. So in engineering people or design engineering people are constructing things from scratch, but technology people are improving upon what already exists. Okay, so understand how efficiency is working, how a particular distillation column is working, how a particular heat exchanger is working, how a particular pump is working, how can I improve its efficiency, where if for, let's say if we are talking about a pump, where exactly does my operating point lie on the pump curve. So these are technology approaches. Okay, in design it is entirely different, in technology it is entirely different. And third, which is very recently coming up mainstream white collar job for chemical engineers, is industry digitization, or you can say digital twins. There are multiple names for it, domain experts, stuff like that. There are multiple names for it. In this, you need to have a good base in technical, basically technology field, and you can then corroborate this knowledge with your IT knowledge. Okay, so if you are good in communication, if you are good in project management, in that case, you can also get into that field. So choose your career change very carefully. For that, Chem Club will be very helpful for you. I have gone through their website; it is very good. They are showing, they are basically giving multiple courses which are very industry relevant. So I'd recommend you to do that. When can we get the recording of the video? Swarali will be able to answer that. Yeah, unable to access the recordings of the yesterday's session. You will be able to do it some way. There will be some kind of login that you will have to do. Nayan, sir, can you please provide a sample answer to introduce yourself for a fresher in an interview question? Okay. Uh, okay. So, okay, let's say my name is Manish. I was born and brought up in Pondicherry. It's a city residing next to sea, and you can say I have spent most of my childhood in on the seashores. I can say it added value to my life because it always encouraged me to look into the things with in depth. So that is my preliminary upbringing. Next, I moved to in my preliminary academics started in Pondicherry itself. My father had a traveling job, so I had the opportunity to see multiple cultures over India. I have studied in multiple schools across India, so I have a good skill of communicating with multiple people and making good friends. Um, I did my engineering in NIT Surathkal. So, as you know, it's a prestigious university for chemical engineers. I have been exposed to brilliant professors and academics throughout my engineering career, and I have worked into I have worked on several projects during my engineering, both academic and interpersonal skills. So, my personal favorite project is to decarbonize the petrochemical plant. I have worked on carbon capture and removal, carbon removal, capture, and storage of carbon dioxide in a petrochemical section, petrochemical sector uh, project in, let's say, Reliance. Okay, so this is the general structure that you can follow. So it takes approximately 1 to 2 minutes for you to answer all the questions. This gives the perspective about your personality, and this also gives you the perspective of your individual understanding of technical knowledge where you are good at. Okay, so you can choose a project of your own choosing. If you are, let's say, active in multiple organizations during your college, say that I was a part of multiple organizational uh, features in my college, events in my college. I have done these roles in multiple events, and I excel at orienting myself and coordinating with multiple people. So yes, you can use all kinds of introductory stories in your first answer. Okay, Nayan is done. Krishna, sir, what are the most important softwares that every chemical engineer should know, which will be useful in the career? Okay, I would recommend one of two. You should definitely know Aspen Plus or Aspen Hysis, one of these two. That is these are the most commonly used softwares all across the globe. Uh, Aspen Plus, I would recommend more because it is slightly stringent. It will test your chemical knowledge also, and uh, it works on multiple fields. Like it works in both chemical manufacturing and petrochemical manufacturing. It also has features to do detailed design of reactors and stuff like that, kinetic modeling, and so many more features. So I'd recommend go for Aspen Plus. Aspen Hysis is also equally good, but it is made user friendly, so it is like you are more susceptible to make mistakes. So if you are learning, then it's better to learn Aspen Plus because it will push your limits. It will make your concepts clear. So Aspen Plus would be the recommended software. Yes. Apart from that, you can go for heat exchanger design, EDR, HDRI, and something of that sorts. Yes, so more the merrier, but I would recommend bare minimum Aspen Plus is very good. You can try your hand on that. Govind, what types of skills are mostly want from interviewer? Okay, the interviewer is looking for, again, it's very subjective to job role that you are approaching for. If you are going for design, in that case, they'll ask you multiple questions on what a PNID should contain, what are, let's say, if you have a pump, how will you calculate NPSH? How will you make sure that sufficient head is available? How will you calculate the frictional pressure drop, back pressure, and stuff like that? It is very subjective. It is very subjective based on what kind of job role that you are going for. For students, it is simple. For students, it is always mass transfer and heat transfer. But for working professionals, it is more of job role specific. What you're applying for, that will be asked. Sorry. Okay. Finally, we'll get the recorded sessions on the website. Please fill the feedback form, guys. It will help me improve. Um, I completed my BTech in chemical engineering and completed a basic course under Chem Club, but I don't get through any interview because I have my experience in paint industry. Is there any simulation software I have to know to get this kind of job? Okay. Uh, SD, what happens now? Sometimes your resume plays a big role. So even though you do not have any experience in the industry of design engineering, you can develop that. Again, so you are a fresher in the new job role. Okay, for example, there are some dependent job roles. For example, if you are moving from manufacturing to technology services, in that case it's a dependent job role. You can leverage upon your previous knowledge. But if you are moving from your manufacturing background to design engineering, in that case for design engineering you are a complete fresher. So your resume must reflect that. And basically, while you are working in your current job, try to do some kind of work which is relevant for the job role that you aspire for. Okay, if you are aspiring for technology services, then try to do that kind of a work right here in the current job, which you can later on add into your resume. Okay, so that is what is the trick. If you want to switch into any new field entirely, in that case, your resume should reflect some things at least which are relevant to the new industry. Okay, so simulation software, I would again recommend go for Aspen Plus. If you have hands-on on Aspen Plus, it is good. Most design and technology companies do use it. It's you can say a go-to software. All the companies who are into technology services or design have Aspen Plus at all times. If not Aspen Plus, Aspen ISS. You can easily migrate from one to another. It is not difficult. You should know Aspen Plus or Aspen ISS bare minimum. So that is the software that I would recommend. Okay. Okay. Any more questions, guys?
Hello, sir.
Yes. Tejaswini.
Sir, my
Question is that if we are not aware about the subject which is given in debate or in group discussion, or we don't know the topic exactly, then what
Hmm.
should do in such situations?
Okay. The thing is, in that case, you will have to be socially aware in that particular situation. So listen to the people. If nobody knows anything, then we can't help it. Then anyone knows something uh, is a winner. But in this particular situation, is everybody if everybody else is knowing something about it, listen to them carefully, and you can strategize like in the right sense of concluding the entire session. Okay, you can listen to everyone in the start, let somebody else begin the session, let some people take the initiative and add value to the group discussion, and when the end is nearing, during this entire GD session, write down the points that people are saying. Okay, try to understand their thought process behind it, and while concluding, summarize it, acknowledge everybody that Yogesh said this, Priyanka said this, Smita said this, and based on these things, what I think should be the conclusion is XYZ. Okay, so GD is a skill that you can develop over time, particularly when you don't know the subject. You can acquire the knowledge during the session itself, and you can end very well. Okay, so again, while ending, you can make it sound very realistic and okay. So the goal is to make sure that uh, see, group discussion is a forum where everybody needs to learn. That is the idea behind group discussion. That is basically a replication of meetings that you are going to have in an industry. So people in companies do meetings, people in colleges do group discussions. They are similar to each other. So when we are sitting in a meeting, everybody should get out of the meeting with the same amount of knowledge that everybody else has. That is the end goal of group discussion. So as long as you understand what everybody else is saying and you are able to conclude the right things out of it, it is good, it's a win for you. Okay, anyone, any questions? All right. Do we have any volunteer who would like to go for a mock interview? All right. Okay, everyone. All of you have been great listeners and very interactive. I like this session. If you have any more doubts, you can always reach out to Chem Club, and these people are very helpful as much as I know. So you can always reach out to them. Upskill yourself, learn more things as you go on, and all the very best for your interviews and placement sessions. Thank you so much. This was Manish, and I hope I was able to deliver some value to all of you. Thank you so much for this session. Bye bye.